We enter the third and final game in this series, Disney's Magical Quest 3 starring Mickey and Donald. This game starts out much like how the first two games did. Huey, Dewey, and Louie find a book with strange magical powers, and they get sucked into the world of the book, trapping them there until somebody rescues them. Mickey and Donald find the same book, and a blue-dressed fairy greets them, saying that the three boys are inside of the book, and that King Pete was the one who did it. Pete is no longer an emperor nor a baron in this game, but a king who still rules over the land, but this time, it's neither inside of a dream or a circus. The whole game takes place inside of the story of a book, more specifically, Storybook Land. You either enter as both Mickey or Donald, and as you progress through the stages, you are given 3 outfits that will help you in your journey. Unlike the second game, whichever available character you choose, you are presented with a varying set of outfits. At least, it varies for the available first outfit in the game. The other two have no variations depending on who wears them. Mickey's first outfit is a medieval knight armor that gives him the ability to punch enemies with a rubber glove. Donald's first outfit is a wooden barrel, with a hammer that he could use to pounce around enemies with. The barrel acts as a floating device for Donald, while the knight armor lets Mickey sink because of its weight. The second outfit is a lumberjack climbing gear, given by, you guessed it, one of the lumberjack climbing kids found in the wooden house. Similar to the wise old sage's house seen in the first game, this outfit allows the player to climb trees, grab and spin Mickey blocks or enemies, and zipline through descending vines or wires. The third and final outfit of this game is a magician's outfit, which grants both Mickey and Donald the ability to cast spells that could find certain secret areas or avoid hidden traps. The stages of this game aren't that interesting really. You go through one strange land to the next. Nothing really stands out in the world of Storybook Land, except for the Yeti monster you get to fight in the Snow Mountain stage. The sprite design on that one was quite cool. Honestly, half of the mini bosses from the second game and the bosses in the third game all really remind me of the Mega Man X bosses. Maybe it's because these 3 Disney games were developed by Capcom or whatever that made the feel of these bosses remotely familiar to me. Once you get to the final boss, the final battle against King Pete, he's now back to facing sideways as he battles against you with his magical powers. This time around, his powers conveniently match the outfits you get in the game. Like in his first trial, where he summons a log from above so that you can climb it and hit him in the head, or the snake lance and shield he wears once you've dealt him a good amount of damage from the first trial, equally matches the medieval knight armor you get in the first stage of the game. It's just weird that they didn't make a third trial on this last game. Sure, you could count the wizard mini-boss that you fight before King Pete as the first trial, and King Pete being the second and third, but come on, I would have loved to have had a bit more challenge on this last game's final boss. Once you defeat King Pete, he surrenders, feeling guilty to have caused so much chaos in Storybook Land. He says that he'll be changing his ways, and the blue-dressed fairy congratulates you for defeating King Pete. You go back to the real world, which the fairy later corrects herself, saying that you'll instead be going back to the outside world. This alludes to the fact that the world outside of the book is indeed not the real world itself, but that of the world inhabited by Mickey and his friends. Mickey and Donald, together with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, escape the magical book, and Minnie and Daisy are there looking at them, saying that they've dozed off reading the storybook. This is another clear nod to the events of the first game. It's sort of a total recall kind of situation, wherein you're never really sure if the events that unfolded in front of you were real or not. The question is, does that really matter for these fictional characters? They themselves are made of fiction, so each of their wonderful journeys, regardless of if they happen in a dream or the inside of a book, are just as equally real to them because they were able to feel something spectacular while they were in them. That in itself is the true purpose of an adventure, the true meaning of a magical quest. Those are all the things I discovered while playing these 3 games. I guess I understand now why they never really thought of making more sequels, because the third game gives us a direct ending to the story arc. Pete is now a peace protector rather than an emperor, or a baron, or a king. And Mickey and his friends are all having a good time with each other, either playing a game of catch, go to the circus, or reading amazing fantasy books to pass the time. And if we know anything, it is that these characters have stood the test of time, and will do so in the next couple of centuries and more, almost as if they themselves are stuck in an infinite time loop. Disney's Magical Quest is a platform game trilogy released by Capcom from 1992 to 1995.